Liverpool completely falling away. Arsenal now top of the league, and a much needed win for Maresca at Chelsea. What a day it was yesterday. Manchester United finally clicking. Liverpool falling away. What's happening at Liverpool? What is going on with ARNE Slot? Has he lost control? I'm listening to Liverpool fans yesterday going absolutely mental. We're going to get into all of that, what Gary Neville has said, go into why Liverpool all of a sudden have stopped scoring goals, big players not turning up, former players going in on certain players as well at Liverpool now. What is happening? Is it a crisis? This is Football Talks. This is your paper round. Welcome along, everybody. Good morning. It is Sunday, the 5th of October. The games are nearly done for another batch, and we're heading into another international break. But the big talking point right now is the form of the champions, Liverpool, and ARNE Slot, yet again, he calls it fine margins. And again, like it was last week, them last-minute goals. Liverpool, fine margins, were getting the points early on in the season, and now it's completely done a 180 and gone the other way. Liverpool losing games in injury time last week against Crystal Palace, 96 minutes. Another injury time goal yesterday against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. It's not happening for Liverpool at the moment, but are their biggest problems their biggest players? Now, just to get into the whole crisis talk on Liverpool, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, everybody. So get into the live chat. Welcome along. If you are new to Football Talks as well, please hit that like button and subscribe button. And let's get this conversation going this morning, because Liverpool crisis, I mean, there's a report coming out, and I've seen this online this morning as well, after the game, in fact. Media in Stamford Bridge reporting major disturbances in the away dressing room post-game. Van Dijk and backroom staff member just stormed out in an animated state. Stadium security put on stand outside Liverpool, just being beaten 2-1 by Chelsea minutes earlier. More to follow. People talking about unrest, noises. I mean, this is professional football. If you are happy going into a changing room having just been beaten in injury time, then there's something wrong with you. I don't think there's a big issue in the disruption in the changing room. If you're not happy about losing and you're fighting with your teammates, good is what I say. That should be happening. And that there shows that Liverpool are still passionate about this. But they're struggling to handle being beaten constantly at the moment. And I'm saying that with a little bit of a giggle behind my voice, I know. But we shouldn't really, because Liverpool are still in a very strong position, joint top of the league. And I'm sure any team in England right now would love to have Liverpool's problems. How the hell do you fit in an Ekitike, a Florian Wirtz, an Alexander Isak? How do you fit in £450 million worth of talent into your side and make it work after already being champions? Well, I'm going to be honest right now. My issue, or what I think is the big issue with Liverpool right now, and my good friend, my old friend Craig from Anfield Agenda was completely slaughtering this man last night again. Liverpool fans, if you are in the chat, what is wrong with Mo Salah? Have all of these signings and new forward players coming in disrupted the old flow? Because Mo Salah and Alan Shearer completely destroyed him last night on Match of the Day for not tracking back, leaving Bradley exposed down the side, and not tracking back when Garnacho was causing problems for Chelsea. All of this talk, but this isn't new. This isn't new for Liverpool fans. The debate about Mo Salah, yes, his record, yes, his professionalism, he is a golden boy. And that big video of Mo Salah when he signed that contract and everything that was made of it, it was what all Liverpool fans wanted, it seemed. And you tell me, Liverpool fans. But from what I've seen so far this season, Mo Salah is a hindrance to that Liverpool side. He is a problem. Again, sometimes keeping hold of certain players just doesn't work, particularly when you're bringing in new players. You see, if you're a Liverpool player right now, when you're watching Mo Salah have stinker after stinker after stinker, which he is, his decision-making in the final third yesterday and not tracking back and lack of efforts, I think everybody picked up on. And I've not heard one person defend Mo Salah yet. Look, you'll have people that come in and defend what he's done for the football club in the past, and you cannot go in on him and make a big thing against him. But you can't defend the way he's playing either. And the way that Mo Salah is playing at the moment is causing problems for Liverpool. He needs to be benched. I know you could say he was benched against Galatasaray and they still lost that game. But look, when you're trying to integrate new players, when you're trying to bring players into a system which was working so well last season for Liverpool, it's difficult. Yeah, as much as Núñez was an issue and he wasn't that good, you had Diaz there who knew everything what Arne Slot wanted to do. You've now got somebody else in there who is playing. You've now trying to squeeze Ekitike out wide, who is a natural number 9 because you've bought Alexander Isak. Meanwhile, you really could be putting somebody else on that right-hand side who's going to be playing better than Mo Salah. There's a lot of problems at Liverpool right now. They're good, don't get me wrong. Like, before we get into this, like, they're good problems to have because Liverpool will be fine this season. I don't think this is... On paper, it's a crisis, but the fine margins that Arne Slot's spoken about are definitely there for everybody to see. But when using them fine margins as a get-out for poor performances and losses, you have to use them fine margins again for the wins that Liverpool have had, like Mo Salah scoring a 96-minute penalty against Burnley when they couldn't even get near that goal. There's 2 points gone for Liverpool right there that they probably did not deserve. You look at how many games this season that they've scored in the last minutes. You look at the Newcastle game. They were being battered by 10 men, Newcastle, and then just one break, and they got the goal in the last minute. There's another 2 points gone for Liverpool. Opta's projected stats for Liverpool and position in the league right now, going off how the games have gone, had them at 8th in the table before this game this weekend against Chelsea. That tells you everything about how bad Liverpool are playing right now. It will come. They've got the players to get through this, but to have one of the world's best strikers not looking like he knows what he's doing at all, to have what was the best forward last season in Mo Salah out wide looking completely lost, and to bring in the best midfielder, attacking midfielder from Germany in Florian Wirtz, looking like he really is struggling to come to terms with the Premier League. And then Ekitike, who started well, but has been cast aside because Isak is there. Order is needed in there, and a balance they're struggling to find. The questions will be asked about one man, and that's Arne Slot. He needs to organise this, and he needs to make some calls here right now. And this, again, was what everybody was waiting for. Arne Slot being judged after spending money. Arne Slot being judged after bringing in players. Last season, he got a free ride. Last season, it was easy work for Arne Slot because he didn't spend any money, and he had a side that Jurgen Klopp put together. So it was he's not spent any money, let's just see how he does. No one's really going to judge him 1 season in, and it all worked well for him. Everybody had a fantastic season, and they had hardly any injuries at all. My problems with Liverpool, I'm just going to lay them out, and then I'm going to come to the comment section. The problems in this side right now for Liverpool, for one reason or another, is Konate, your goalkeeper, now that obviously Alisson is out. So Konate and Alisson not being fit. Alisson being out, not being fit, and Konate playing. I don't rate Konate at all. He's fallen away completely. Then you've got your midfield problem. Like, he needs to decide who his central midfielders are as well. Florian Wirtz in at the 10 isn't working for them right now. I'm confident he will come back to the form that he showed in Germany, but still, he is a problem for Liverpool. Mo Salah, and decide who you want up front. I think Gakpo's a better player at the moment than both Ekitike and Alexander Isak for Liverpool, but you can't leave out your big signings. It was easy for him last season. It was easy for Arne Slot last season to play the players that he played and fit them into this side. But now he's got big questions over his head about how he manages big egos and big players. And he's struggling. And it's clear that he is struggling. Let's get into the comments on this as well, everybody. We've got a poll that's just gone up now, so get involved. A simple one right now. Who wins the Premier League 2025-26? City, Liverpool, Arsenal or Chelsea? This is going to be an interesting one right now because Arsenal and Liverpool are on joint points. Arsenal are top on goal difference right now. Quickly, before we get going, Stephen Hayes, welcome to the members club. Also, we have a Glock 14, new Arsenal fan in there as well. Welcome to the channel, my man. I know I've seen you on FUTV as well. Welcome along and welcome to the Members Club. We also have a super chat in from Ray. Thank you, Ray. Mo Salah is human. Problem is Messi and Ronnie was the other level year in, year out. It will be hard for Mo to continue every year, but it is still Mo. That there, and what Ray said in that super chat, tells you it's still Mo Salah. Yeah, but Mo Salah is stopping the future of Liverpool coming forward. Sounds harsh, doesn't it, as well? I love Mo Salah, and I'm a United fan. Everybody knows this. I think he is a model professional. Never kicks up a stink, never is a problem, and I think has been the most consistent player for years in the Premier League who is still playing right now. I honestly don't have any issue at all with Mo Salah, but he is a problem for Liverpool right now. He is, because he's not tracking back and he's not working hard enough in that team. He's isolating his fullback, and if he's going to be on that right-hand side, then he's going to do a lot more. The problem is you can't play him in the middle because you've got two out-and-out strikers there that are better than him in that position. Mo Salah needs to be taken out of the team. He needs to be out of that side. That's how I see it anyway at the moment. I mean, Liverpool fans, you can tell me what you would do. But I think Arne Slot really has got an unbalanced side there right now. And I don't even think Van Dijk has been that good this season as well. There's so many players in that Liverpool side that are struggling now. Let's get into the comments now. PC Master says, is the players who left that exposed Liverpool. Nunez, Jota, Diaz press a lot from the front compared to Isak, Salah and Cody Gakpo. Yesterday, Liverpool get pressed into their own half. So many questions being asked of him right now. Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest player in the Premier League history and the GOAT football period. No one's even questioning that, Kaze. Liverpool are weak, playing to high defence, play the ball over the top and let the striker run on you and get on goal. Jeffrey also, that was from Pete. Jeffrey says, if I'm Slot, I'm picking Ekitike ahead of him. Quality going forward and put a shift in when he came on. Point, Jeffrey. And Declan says, walking like a... is that precision walk? Like... I'm saying that wrong. Walk. Precision... sorry, instead of Egyptian. Sorry, my... dyslexia is kicking in totally there on that one. I'm just going to leave that comment there. Sorry. I get what you're saying there as well, Declan, mate. Sorry, but that's on me, that one. Sorry about that, pal. I watched the Dippers match yesterday. Loved the Chelsea winner. Estevao, good goal that as well. But, again, Liverpool aging players, let's just say the older players, getting caught out a little bit as well. I would say Robertson at the back stick, completely asleep. And, of course, the Mo Salah issue in not tracking back down that side. Them minor details that Slot talks about are there in his players and their performances. PL is a long run, but it looks like the hair has turned out, and the Gunners will soon say, wow, story. Sorry, mate. Again, Glock... Where you gone? And Bumo over Salah talk to me, says Liam. There's a few comments coming in there. A few typos from quite a few people as well. Sorry. Lots of different debates going in the live chat as well. Arsenal need to win the league this season. Can't have another City or Liverpool win. Although, I don't know, it will be unbearable for everybody else if them Arsenal fans get that league title. It would, wouldn't it? They will let everybody know about it as well. But Arsenal doing their job yesterday. Can't argue with their form. Can't. Look, they had a stubborn Nuno Espirito Santo come to the Emirates yesterday. And they defended well. And Arsenal just got a simple 2-0 win without even really getting out of second gear. More points on the table for Arsenal. And now sitting quite comfortably at the top there. Alongside Liverpool, better goal difference. And you know what? If Liverpool didn't win, like I said before, them last minute goals, that free kick from Szoboszlai at Anfield against Arsenal, if that doesn't go in, Liverpool are 6 points worse off right now and they're down where Manchester United are. But for them late injury time goals, I know they count, And I know they're part of the game. But when Arne Slot says fine margins, Liverpool's season has been played off fine margins in winning and losing games. And they haven't been convincing at all in any game this season. And that's what people are looking at. And that when you start to see defeats creep in alongside that form is where you would start talking about the crisis. And that, I think, is why. Wasn't having a go about Gyökeres, but he needs to score from open play more. Expected more from him, especially in the little challenge in the title challenging side. Yep, again, good problems to have for the likes of Arsenal right now. And Gyökeres not scoring, he really does look like an average player in the Arsenal side. Arsenal are such a good team and good technical team that Gyökeres does look quite average. Just from the outside looking in, that's how I see it. He isn't the best striker out there. In fact, I think Sesko would have actually suited Arsenal down to the ground better than what Gyökeres is. But look, I mean, Gyökeres will score goals because Arsenal's side is so good. But them moments, them big moments for Arsenal, when you need your striker to score you a goal, like what Haaland does for Manchester City to bail them out, I don't think Gyökeres has got that in his game. Look, he may warm to the Premier League and he may become a better player, but at the moment, I'm not seeing it with him. I'm not seeing it at all. Look, time will tell, won't it? But Gyökeres right now isn't needed as much. Arsenal are comfortable in every game that they play. I think they did well in that game last week against Newcastle. I think that was big for them to get that win away from home and then just go and get a standard win against West Ham yesterday. Another comfortable win in the week in the Champions League as well. Look, Arsenal are not conceding goals. That is something that needs to be talked about because Liverpool concede goals and concede goals for fun. Arsenal don't. That's the scary bit about Arsenal's side. The quality up front will shine because they're going to be given multiple chances to win games because they don't concede. And you get what I mean by that. If you know that your defence is going to leak goals, the forward line has to work twice as hard. But Arsenal at the moment aren't having to rely on their strikers because they're so solid at the back and they've got so much talent out wide and in midfield that the goals can come from all over. But it goes back to the old saying, you build from the back. And Arsenal's defence is the best in the league. And stats and on paper in personnel, I think it is. I don't like Gabriel. I think he's an horrible slime ball of a player. Would I want that slime ball at my team? No. Yeah, of course I would. We don't like him because they're just not on our teams. That's a football rule, isn't it? The fact that we hate that player because he's so good, that tells you how good he is, really. And Arsenal's defence is what will give them the edge over Liverpool this season. Liverpool, they made a mistake in not going out and getting Matt Guehi for me. They needed to get a partner for Virgil van Dijk. They really did. And I just think Arsenal have invested well in the summer. And it's now looking like their players have gelled quicker to a well-run side than what Liverpool's have. And this was going back to Slot again. The big question on Arne Slot, can you handle the egos and the big players? Arteta is used to it 5 years in right now. I'm not saying Arteta's a better manager. Slot's won the league. But Arteta dealt with Aubameyang. He's dealt with the big name players already. And Slot is just getting used to it now. And this is where the judgment will come. And I think this is where Slot is now struggling at Liverpool. Story says, both Gyökeres and Isaac compared to Haaland, they have never been close to him. Isaac is definitely there, mate. I think he's one of the best strikers in the league, in the world, to be honest. But again, it just goes to show, if the balance isn't right within a team, it doesn't matter how good the player is, I feel he's always going to struggle. I think Isak will be a success at Liverpool. Someone came back at me the other day, a Liverpool fan, and said, after my comments, he didn't need Isak. As Ekitike would have been enough. You should have spent that money on getting a defender like Matt Guehi. And they came back at me and said, we needed the two strikers. Obviously, we lost Nunes. The sad passing of Diogo Jota, which I forgot about as well, which is fair points. They needed another striker for him. But they brought in two absolute juggernauts and spent over 200 million on two strikers. One of them has to play. Two of them have to play at that price tag, you could say, as well. And that's the problem that ARNE Slot has got now. It wasn't having a go about Gyökeres, but needs to score from... Oh, sorry, I've just read that one out. We are the most consistent team in the league so far. And yeah, I get that. What Glock's saying there, Arsenal don't concede, and they are the most consistent because of that. I mean, the team that run Arsenal the closest, I think, this season was Man United in the first game. I think that was Arsenal's worst performance of the season. I didn't think much of them again at Anfield, but they win the simple games and win them easily. And then with that defence, they've always got a chance in the bigger games. It's going to be a tightly run thing this season. And it's going to be interesting to see the likes of Manchester City and how they can actually... Because I don't think City are anywhere near Arsenal or Liverpool this season. And if Haaland drops off, that's City done. But it just goes to show you, though, doesn't it, with the striker side of things, that Haaland is keeping Manchester City afloat right now. You imagine you put a Haaland in a Arsenal or in a Liverpool, game over. You're miles away, aren't you? It will be a testing season for ARNE Slot, blending all the players in, but I can't see Arsenal getting above Liverpool. Still fancy them for the league, says Andrew. Both Gyökeres and Isaac compared. I've read that one. I keep reading saying comments out. Sorry, everyone. Gary says, Mo Salah is like Ronaldo. He never helped at United in defence. He is a luxury player, isn't he, Salah? He is. Liverpool fans, talk to me. Where are you at with Mo Salah right now? Salah is playing with goal-scoring strikers now, the likes of Firmino. He isn't the main outlet anymore. Well, that's it. He's got players there that are prolific goal scorers next to him. He isn't the main man anymore. No, he's not. Is that affecting him? Is that affecting his game? It's a good point to make, actually. Got myself a Champions League Cup and FA Cup, says Declan. Lawman says, if Palace had a squad to cover both League and Europe, Palace would be up there. Chelsea are a couple of seasons away. When Liverpool gets it sorted, they can give Arsenal a challenge for the Premier League, says Lawman. Gurav says Palace has a better defence than Arsenal. Check the stats. I still feel like Arsenal have got the better... Look, this is the point where you have to look at Crystal Palace and say they deserve lots and lots of credit for where they are. But on paper, consistently, Arsenal last season and then this season so far, I think are the best defence. That's how I would look at it. And I'm not being disrespectful to Palace here, but I don't see them as title contenders. And we're just talking about the title and how they're going to win the league over Liverpool, because they're the two that are going to be competing. Palace are brilliant. I love Crystal Palace and the way that they have just taken teams down. Doesn't matter the way that Glasner plays, but they're not going to challenge realistically for the title. We know this. And so when we're talking about the best defence, it's mainly over the title challengers. Over City, it's night and day. Arsenal are better. Over Liverpool, again, point proven already this season and last season. Arsenal's defence is what will win Arteta that title. And that's why Victor Gyökeres is going to find time on his side when it comes to what happens in his career at Arsenal, because he's got such a good team there. You cannot fail at Arsenal. I mean, what's Victor Gyökeres got right now, goal-wise? He got, 4, I think? Something like that for Arsenal. I think that's where he is. You're like, that's not bad already this season. You're looking at a 20-plus goal-scoring season for him now, like you'd expect. There you go. That's how I look at it anyway. Also, let me know in the chat anyway who you think, and get into the poll who you think is actually going to win the league. Just on that poll, by the way, right now in terms of who's winning the league, 54% of the poll right now are saying that it is Arsenal who are going to win the league. A form at the moment, it's hard to go against them. Like we just talked about Crystal Palace there and the surprise packages of the season. Let's not forget, I think Spurs are 2 points behind Arsenal right now. Spurs digging in. And Thomas Frank, after a couple of shaky sort of performances, Wolves and then Bodo Glimt, they've started to turn up a little bit, haven't they? And they got a good result away from home. And do you know why the Leeds result was a good one for Spurs? A dodgy result against Wolves last week, then away from home in Europe, coming back to the Premier League and playing the 12:30 game, the first game of the weekend. That's always tough, but Leeds having a full week to prepare, unbeaten at Ellen Road in over a year, and then Thomas Frank going with his side there after everything I've just spoken about and getting the win. We have to talk about Spurs, everybody, because Spurs are comfortably there in the top four at the moment. I mean, let's just, I'm going to get up the league table on my screen just so we can have a quick look at it as it is. So the top five at the moment, Palace, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal. Crystal Palace can go back up to second ahead of Liverpool if they win today, which is crazy on its own. It really is. But looking at that table there, Tottenham comfortable, only 2 points off Arsenal in third place. One defeat plus 8 goal difference for Spurs as well, which is big and impressive for them. So, yeah, I mean, when you look at it, you've got to give Thomas Frank massive, massive amounts of credit when it comes to what he's done with that Spurs side. Let's not forget that we here are looking at a Spurs side that finished 17th in the league last season. Now, their former manager, Ange Postecoglou, he's right up against it today. If Newcastle win there, which I expect them to do at St James's Park today, then that's 7 games without a win for Ange Postecoglou. He won a trophy last season, and Spurs went and sacked him and brought in Thomas Frank. And now look at Spurs where they are. On top of that as well, something we didn't bring up on the title race, injuries. Now, Martin Odegaard, another setback for him as well. Declan Rice going off injured. Could injuries be the situation that derails one of these teams at the top? Because that's going to come into play as well. Liverpool last season, no injuries. Nothing of note at all. Arsenal, that is one thing that could scupper them. Their midfield is their backbone, and I feel if you lose a Declan Rice in that Arsenal midfield, then Arsenal might struggle. Odegaard, I think Arsenal fans are forgetting about Odegaard at the moment because he's just never available. He's become the first player in history, I think, to to be brought off in 3 consecutive Premier League games before half-time that he started. There's something wrong with that guy. I don't know what the injury problem is with Odegaard, but it is not good for Arsenal right now anyway. So Spurs, if they keep their side fit, then they've got a real chance. The signings of Xavi Simons and Mohamed Kudus for Spurs, wow, they have taken them to a different level. Superb so far. Paulinho, Kudus and Simons, what a trio of signings that's proved to be so far for Thomas Frank and Spurs this season. Absolutely brilliant. And do you know what? Just talking about that, looking at the league table, Spurs being 2 points off the top. Check this out. Crystal Palace, with 0 signings, if they win their game today, can go 1 point behind Arsenal at the top after 7 games. Let's put some credit on Oliver Glasner and that Crystal Palace side, because that, I think, needs to be talked about more than anything right now. Crystal Palace are away to Everton this afternoon. Now, Everton unbeaten in their new stadium so far. That is going to be a tough game to call. We'll have that game covered here on Football Talk, starting from about 1:30 today. We're going to go through all of the 2 o'clock games leading into the big game, which is Brentford against City later on as well. So we've got all that to come later on, everybody. But Everton against Crystal Palace, good chance there for Crystal Palace to jump straight back up again. I can see a draw in that one. I think that will be a draw. The other games today, by the way, Wolves are at home to Brighton. Newcastle, like we said, could really just pile on the pressure onto Ange Postecoglou today if they get the win against Nottingham Forest at St James's Park. Can Aston Villa continue their good form under Unai Emery? They're turning things around from the bottom. They've got Burnley at home and, of course, Brentford and their good home record. Is it going to stand up again against another big gun in Manchester City today? All of that to come later on, everybody. And and we will obviously be covering everything and keeping you up to date on all of the news. But like Bournemouth, we've not even mentioned yet. Anton Semenyo, 6 goals in the Premier League this season. Wow. Like, seriously, that is phenomenal. Bournemouth and Crystal Palace in 4th and 5th in the league right now. And you just look down the table. And they always say, don't they, look at the table in October. That's when you're going to know who the real movers and shakers are within this league. Well, I'm looking at an expected Newcastle and Aston Villa sides who at the start of this season everyone had in their European positions in this season. They're sat in 15th and 16th needing wins today. Manchester United are in 9th, City 8th with a tough trip to Brentford this afternoon. Chelsea still outside. Even after beating Liverpool, Chelsea are in 6th place in the league on 11 points. Still, Bournemouth and Crystal Palace are ahead of these two sides. It's phenomenal. It really is. In terms of the worries, Wolves need to start getting some results quite quickly before they get cut adrift. That game today at home to Brighton's not going to be easy for them. Obviously, Brighton can leapfrog quite a few teams and head right up in there into the top half of the table with a win today. Can Wolves continue that good form that they showed against Spurs last week? West Ham, with Nuno there now, I'm not as worried as what I should be looking at that league table. 1 win in 7, minus 10 goal difference, and really struggling. Like 1 point out of the last 4 games as well for West Ham. Burnley, they're starting to drop now. And if they lose today against Aston Villa, I think they could find themselves potentially bottom of the table today. If results go a certain way, Burnley are probably the ones that I would be most worried about as a definite going downside. Ange Postecoglou won't survive at Nottingham Forest. I'm going to say that right now. I just think that already has got the writing on the walls in that one. Let's get into a few more comments on this, everybody. Please get into the chat. Talk to me, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on this. Andreas, thanks for that super chat earlier on. Thank you for the renewed membership as well from Stu. I love that, buddy. Mikel Bundy Arteta. I've seen that picture and that meme going around. I think you even sent it to me, Stu, actually. Man United also used to finish second, and Man City won the league. United have won it a lot more, though, Glock. You can't argue with Manchester United back in the day. You can talk about Man United now and laugh at United now, but you can't bring up Manchester United's history. United constantly finish second and first, not second and second and second. He needs to win the league. He needs to win the league this season. If Mikel Arteta doesn't win the league this season, then I think he's lost the chance altogether. I don't think the teams are not going to stand still, is what we're saying. They're not, are they? So everyone's going to get better. I can see all of the comments coming in here. Everyone's going in on Glock there. I mean, he's fighting everybody on his own there in the chat. That's what we want to do this channel for. We want to bring in other fans so we could actually continue debate and look at it from a different way as well. But look, that pretty much sums up all of the news going around. We'll find out what the injuries are like to the Arsenal players going forward. The fallout from Liverpool will continue as well. There's a lot to talk about, and we'll continue that later on this afternoon as the games go down. So starting approximately 1:30 this afternoon, everybody, all the way through here on Football Talks. All of the Sunday games covered. Make sure you join us later on for that. For now, that's it, everyone. Like I said, we'll continue our conversation later on. I'm going to go get some breakfast. Have a nice morning, everyone, and I'll see you later on in the afternoon. Cheers, everyone.